On this podcast, Nigel Clarkson chats with Rod Clements of Lindisfarne.
On the show today, on the Sound Showbiz podcast, we're lucky enough to be talking to Rod Clements of Lindisfarne. Hello, Rod.
Hello, Nigel. Hello, everybody.
Great to have you on the show and great to catch up again. First of all, I'm going to ask you, how are you, Rod? Because you had a bit of a misfortune about 6 months ago, didn't you?
I did. I went into an unknown venue on a summer's afternoon from broad daylight into semi-darkness, and I didn't know there was a foot drop in the room, and I just went straight over it.
Oh, how are you
so
now?
I broke my upper right leg, the femur, and I was in hospital 2 weeks, and laid up at home for a few weeks after that. But I'm getting about fine now. I only take the crutch now if I'm in an unfamiliar situation or amongst crowds, because it helps to scare people away.
Well, it's great to see you on the men, because a lot of your fans as well have been asking. I noticed on the social medias, it's Red Art asking, how's Rod? Everybody trying to find out how you're getting on.
Well, the other thing is I'm sitting down on stage now for gigs. So it's pretty obvious to people that, something amiss has occurred.
Yeah.
But I'm actually quite enjoying it. It's a different viewpoint, and you're closer to the audience, which is always nice.
Yeah, that's great. So it's like a slow one, is it? A slow recovery with that leg, really? I suppose you want to go easy.
Yeah, well, you take it easy up to a point, but then there's physio, and you're supposed to keep exercising. So I'm walking as much as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw me at home or around the local shops, you wouldn't know there was anything different.
Yeah.
It's only when I'm in a strange place that I need the extra support.
Yeah. So you thought, I need some exercise, so let's get some tours lined up for 2025.
Yes. Yeah. Not that you get much exercise on the road, I have to say.
Yeah, we'll come to that in a minute, because there's a lot to chat about. A lot of people, maybe some people have never heard of Lindisfarne, because it started in the 70s, didn't it? If you're going to get a youngster, they maybe think, oh, Lindisfarne, I've heard of Lindisfarne. Started all off in the 70s, 71. And
it actually went back before that. I mean, we had a band called Brethren before that, and before that we had a band called the Downtown Faction. So it really goes back to the mid to late 60s.
Right.
And then Lindisfarne actually came into being, I would say, 1970.
Yeah. And then you named the band after the Holy Island, of course, didn't you?
That's right, the Holy Island off the northeast coast of Northumberland.
Can you see that from your house?
No, especially on a day like this. But no, it's about 40 or 50 miles away.
Yeah. Have you ever played on the islands? Because that'd be great, wouldn't it, for a gig if you could get there? But
it would. The only time I've ever played there was in like pub sessions, and stuff like that. Yeah. But they do have gigs occasionally in the village hall, and there's a festival called the Lindisfarne Festival, which actually takes place on the mainland side, and we've done it every other year for about the last 5 years.
Right.
And it's a great festival. It's quite a big scale event.
Yeah.
Several stages and all that, kind of a mini Glastonbury.
Yeah, I bet you really appreciate it when you turn up actually on the island. I mean, that's great. I mean, what you've done for the island is incredible, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, the island doesn't really need much doing for it, because it's such a great place in its own right. The history and the heritage, and it's a beautiful place with a very tranquil atmosphere.
Yeah,
it's lovely. I mean, if they've got a problem, it's tourists.
Yeah, right. Apart from the island, then, what's the best place that you've done a gig at? What's a special place, should I say, that you really like going to, you and the band?
Well, the first one that comes to mind, obviously, is Newcastle City Hall, which we've been associated with for many years doing the Christmas concerts there. Yeah. And apart from being a great hall, there is a great atmosphere at those gigs.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are lots of other places as well. I mean, we like doing little gigs as well. We're going up to Kinross in Scotland next weekend to do 2 nights at the Green Hotel.
Right.
We have a back concert room there, holds about 150 people.
Right.
And it's been sold out for months, but we're there for 2 nights, and we stay over, and you really get close to the people. You all meet up for a drink afterwards, or see them at breakfast and whatever. It's another special little gig in its own way.
Yeah, more personal when it's down to them sort of numbers, isn't it? 150.
Yeah,
When you get a big
absolutely.
stadium, it gets like just looking at a mast, doesn't it? Really?
Big stadiums are not for us, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah,
we do them if we got the chance, of course. I mean, they have a different kind of atmosphere, big gigs like that. But it is impersonal. You're a
yeah,
long way from the audience.
yeah,
You can't really make anybody out. You know, you're a long way from them. They're watching you on a screen rather than
yeah,
yourself. But
yeah,
they're not really our style. But I mean, we could do them if we were asked.
yeah. Has the lineup for the band changed at all, or is it still the same as we spoke earlier on this year?
It's the same as it was earlier this year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, our newest recruit, Paul Smith, the drummer, has been with us 3.5 years now.
yeah.
So it's very stable as it is at the moment.
You're are you self-taught playing the guitar, by the way? I was going to ask you that, whether you taught yourself or did you have lessons when you first started?
No, I never had lessons. Never had a lesson in my life. I started having piano lessons when I was at school, and I did about 6 months of that, but never got very good. I think the teacher was always a bit frustrated because I was learning things, playing things by ear rather than from the music.
Yeah,
But no, I've just taught myself guitar, and I've been lucky to have some great influences. You know, starting off in the beginning with like the Shadows and Dwayne
yeah,
Eddy,
yeah,
which is single note stuff, and you can if you've got an ear, you can pick that stuff out. And then discovering blues and discovering chords, and then I've been lucky enough to play with some great guitar players like Bert Jansch, Michael Chapman,
yeah.
Ralph McTell, and you pick up bits from all of them, you know.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you hear little bits and bobs, or does anybody actually show you anything as well along the way? Will these guys show you how to do a bit of a tip, or?
Uh, sometimes they're very cagey about how they do things. But I mean, playing with other people, you absorb it, you know, and you can watch them. You know, you can see how they do things, and
Yeah,
it's really the inspiration that other music, not just people I played with, but other people I listen to
yeah,
and stuff like that. It inspires you to have a go at doing it, and sometimes you discover things for yourself as
yeah,
well. Like I've got a couple of slide guitar techniques that I worked out for myself,
yeah. Keep them a
which is
secret.
always fun.
Don't
And
tell
then it's my
anybody.
turn to be cagey if somebody tries to see how I'm doing it.
And when you were growing up, like, I mean, there's quite a few guys in that area when you were growing up, weren't there, in the Northeast that you knew, like um, musicians and everything. And even Simon Cowell, wasn't he, around the corner?
Yeah, well, Simon Cowell, Ray Laidlaw, and I lived basically around the corner from each other.
Yeah,
And it was a small world. When we started playing in pubs and youth clubs and things like that, we'd run into other bands. That's how we met Ray Jackson from Wallsend,
yeah,
and Alan, who was playing in a band called The Chosen Few at the time. They were actually a cut above the rest of us because they actually had records out. They had
right.
singles out on the Pie label, but we went to see them at clubs and things and got to know them through that.
Wow, Pie record label. Wow, it's such a
Yeah,
distinctive label, that isn't it?
yeah, that's right. The pink label, and yeah,
When you started,
and
did you get on the Pie Records, or did you? Which label did you first start on?
no, we signed with Charisma,
Right.
which was an independent label run by a great character called Tony Stratton Smith,
Yeah.
who also discovered Genesis and Van der Graaf Generator and The Nice. He was a great character and very, very generous and supportive man.
Yeah. Where was the studios then when you went recording?
Well, Charisma didn't have its own studio, but we recorded the first two albums at Trident,
Right.
which is it's very very well known
Yeah.
studio. I just learned the other day what was it that was recorded there. Carly Simon, You're
Wow.
So Vain
Yeah.
was recorded with British session players at Trident.
Wow. Fantastic, isn't it? Great
Yeah,
history. Great history. I mean, so you're getting together again, obviously, in the new year, and you've announced this new tour, haven't you? It's like 20 dates, but it's increasing all the time. Is that right?
it is. Yeah, it's not really a homogeneous tour.
Yeah.
We tend to go away for sort of long weekends, maybe Thursday to Monday.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's only 2 dates, sometimes it's 4.
Yeah.
Um, but we usually get home midweek for a bit of a break, change of socks and all that. But we're going to Ireland in January. That's the first port of call, which is a nice change for us. We haven't been there since before lockdown, actually, and we're doing 2 shows there, Belfast and Dublin.
One of your favourites, that, isn't it? You like going there?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, I mean, apart from Ireland being a great country to visit, anyway, it's a good vibe when you get to play somewhere that you don't go to very often, because we have got a lot of fans there, and they don't get that much chance to see us. In fact, some of them come over here. We met a couple the other night in where was it? Morecambe, I think it was.
Right.
That had come over from Belfast to see us.
Yeah. Come over on the ferry.
We get people come up to Newcastle City Hall for Christmas from all over the world, actually. But there's 3 or 4 Irish visitors that we've got to know over the years.
So on the gigs,
it's just a great vibe.
Yeah, on the gigs, is there a favourite song that the crowd seem to really warm to? I mean, there's so many songs, isn't there? But there's one, is there a special one that you think this is a bit of an anthem of ours?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Run for Home, I would say.
Yeah.
People will immediately respond to in a different way altogether. A winter song, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
People really respond to that. Yeah. But I mean, we always finish the night with a slew of biggies, We Can Swing Together, Meet Me on the Corner, and all them. And they all know that they're coming, and they most of them know they're all coming in a bunch at the end.
Yeah.
But they sit patiently and wait through all the other songs beforehand.
Yeah, my favourite, and I might have said this last time we spoke, but it was Run for Home. And I think it's just because I used to watch it on the telly. And, after the last interview, I was playing it for about a week. I kept putting it on all the time. Such a great song. And I was watching the video as well, and the audience and what they were wearing in the Top of the Pop studios with like tank tops and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh dear, it's completely
we just found out that Peter Kay is using it as his coming off music on his arena tour.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What an honour that is, isn't it, eh?
Yeah.
I mean, for Peter Kay.
It gets played at St James's Park sometimes, the Newcastle United matches.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So what's your favourite? Do you have a favourite personally?
No, it's like trying to name your favourite child, really. I've got quite a few that I like in different ways. I like some of the bluesier ones where I get a chance to play a bit of slide, but I also like the ones that involves the audience. There's a great kind of 2-way feedback between us and the audience. It's quite affecting sometimes. That you're making this contact with people. Yeah,
when you're playing a song, is there any time you go off on one, like as it were, and not stick to the song a bit, And
well, we have to agree an arrangement and more or less stick to it.
Yeah.
But there are parts in it that you get a chance to do what you like for a few bars, or stick a new bit in or something like that. But they're always pretty much the same length and stick to the same script, so that we know what each other's doing. But yeah, they've all got a bit of latitude in for. I wouldn't call it improvisation exactly, but just taking a few curveballs, if you like.
Yeah. So as well as going to Ireland, you're also in the UK as well, aren't you? Because I noticed you're coming over to Liverpool near us, not too far away. There's quite a few dates lined up. There's quite some big venues, isn't there, really, on that? I was looking at the list as well as smaller, and then there's some medium-sized gigs, and the Liverpool one, you're there for 2 nights.
That's right. Well, that's just how we like it, the mixture of small and big gigs. Yeah, we're at the Philharmonic Music Room, which is the room around the back of the big hall.
Yeah.
I think it's about 250 capacity, something like that.
Wow.
But it's I believe it's sold out this year. We're there in a couple of weeks' time.
Great, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get Christmas off?
Hey?
Do you get some time off at Christmas, or what happens at Christmas?
Well, the last gig of the year this year is the 21st of December at Newcastle City Hall.
Yeah.
And then we get we've got about a month off, actually, before we go to Ireland. So yeah, I mean, we all retreat to the bosoms of our families and have pretty normal Christmases, really.
Yeah, yeah. When's the time you all get together to plan? Like for next year, obviously, you're planning in advance, won't you? So when did you sort of first think about going on tour again after Christmas?
Oh, months ago, if not last year. I mean, the planning in period for the agent and putting gigs in is, it can be 18 months or even 2 years now,
Yeah,
because people are booking so far ahead. I mean, after COVID, there was a lot of catching up to do. There's a lot of gigs
yeah,
that have been postponed that had to be put back in, and that moved everybody's calendar like 18 months down the road. So yeah, I mean, we meet up with the agent 2 or 3 times a year, but we're always on the phone and on email and stuff like that, making
yeah,
plans.
yeah,
As you say, there are still gigs coming in for next year,
yeah.
gaps to be filled and things like that. We might have a Friday and a Sunday booked, so we'll be looking for somewhere on the Saturday
Right.
that it'll fill in. That's not too far away, hopefully.
Yeah. Did you miss some gigs out when you were hurt and you went in hospital when you broke your leg?
No, it was quite amazing. I mean, I would say it was lucky in a way that the gig that it happened at was the last one for 6 weeks.
Right.
We had 6 weeks off planned during the summer,
Yeah.
and my fall was at the last one, and then the next one was I had the fall at the end of May, and the next one was the middle of July, and it was just in Newcastle. So
Right.
so
Did you
that
manage
that was
that? Did you manage that
it.
after? Did you manage to get back onto the circuit after 6 weeks then, or how did you manage?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I was still able to play in the house and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and the rest of the guys came up to see me a few times. We had a couple of meetings and just social chit chats, and a little bit of a kind of acoustic knockabout, just a refresher.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we get quite a bit of free time when we're on the road. I mean, we usually aim to get to a gig in the afternoon,
Yeah.
and we do the sound check. We might have a bit of extra knockabout then, and tweak a song or two, or work up a new one, or
Yeah.
or just sit around and chat and talk about what we're going to do next and
Yeah. I
what
can
might be
tell.
next in the pipeline.
I'm listening to you, Rod, and I can still feel that you enjoy it so much, don't you, being out on the road?
I love it. Yeah, this. I mean, for one thing, the stage is my happy place. I get to do what I want with people I like, in
Yeah.
front of people who are very receptive, very enthusiastic,
Yeah.
and they've come to see us, which is very special. It's kind of a responsibility, which it's a pleasure to fulfill when you get a quantity of people who've actually paid money, made the effort to travel to come and see you, and I love it. That's all there is to it.
You're never going to give it up, I don't think, are you?
I'll keep doing it as long as I can.
Yeah, yeah. So the new tour and the tickets and wherever you're appearing, what's the best way people can find out about a bit more information and how to book the
The,
tickets?
the website, www.lindisfarne.com.
Right, that's the best place, and all the updates will be on there as well.
Absolutely, all the dates are on there. Most of them have got ticket links
Yeah,
next to the date as well,
right. So
and venue contact details and all that. Or
yeah,
you can always Google the venue and get in touch with them that way. But the website's the first port of call.
yeah, definitely. Right. Well, I'm excited. It looks great, and it's great to see you back on the road as well after the injury. Because I mean, some people must have thought, "Oh, God, what's going to happen there?" And trying to get in touch with you. And I noticed on YouTube and Facebook, they were all trying to find out what's going on, and so they'll be all chomping at the bit to get back to one of your gigs, won't they, in the new year?
I certainly hope so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're in the Liverpool area, are
Well,
you?
we're actually in Lytham St Anne's, but we can see it across the Irish Sea there on a clear
Oh
day.
yeah, well we played at Lytham just a few weeks ago.
Right, Lowther Pavilion, was it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's a nice place, is that? They're doing it up at the moment, aren't they? Spending a bit of money on that. So
They
it's
are. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
should be even better.
Yeah, it was a great gig. Well, you should have said we could have snuck you in the back door.
Yeah. I could have come through the building site at the back there.
You could, yeah.
I will do it next time you're coming up here, Rod. I'll definitely come and see you. All the best to you and the boys anyway, and the rest of the band. Have a great Christmas and good luck for 2025 with the big, tour.
I know, yeah. 2025 already, dear me.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Where did the time go?
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thanks for joining us, Rod. It's been great chatting to you. I always like chatting to you.
It's a pleasure, Nigel. Likewise. Thank you.
I'm going to go back now and listen to some of your songs while I'm doing a bit of editing.
Good man.
All right. Thanks again.
Thanks, Nigel. Cheers for now. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Thank you for joining us and sharing in the untold stories of the stars. In the world of showbiz, there's always another story waiting to be told. See you next time.